Okay, so let's dive right into a story that starts at a single frozen lake in Montana. But what it reveals is a massive global climate challenge, and honestly, an incredible business opportunity that most of us have been completely overlooking.
We're starting right here, a very specific place, a very specific time. Why? Because on this day, at this lake, something is visibly, measurably wrong. This isn't some far-off computer model. This is a dispatch from the front line.
Think about this. In any normal year, this lake would have over 3 inches of solid ice by the middle of November. Plenty safe for ice fishing. But today, it's less than half an inch thick. That's not even safe for a dog to walk on. This is a stark, undeniable change happening in real time.
So what in the world is causing this? Well, that's what we're going to break down. We'll start with the unmistakable warning the water is giving us. Then we'll look at the forgotten gas that's driving it, our climate's emergency brake, a really cool way to harness nature's power, and finally, where your competitive advantage fits into all this. Okay, let's start with that warning. Because here's the thing. The thin ice, it isn't really the problem. Not at all. It's just a symptom. It's like a fever breaking on the surface, telling us there's a much, much bigger issue brewing in fresh water all over the planet. So let me ask you this. For decades, we have been laser focused on the air, on carbon dioxide. But what if we've been looking at the wrong battleground? Just asking that one question completely reframes the entire climate conversation and shifts our focus to all the nutrient-impaired fresh water that's all around us.
All right, let's get into the science of it. We really need to understand this powerful and, largely ignored connection between polluted water and a super potent greenhouse gas. And trust me, this is where the story gets really interesting.
So it all kicks off with this process called eutrophication. And you've probably seen what this does, even if you didn't know the fancy name for it. It's those thick, green, nasty-looking algae blooms that basically choke out lakes and ponds. It happens when water gets overloaded with nutrients, usually from things like farm runoff and wastewater.
And wow, this chart right here, it just lays it all out perfectly. As a lake goes from being clean and healthy, that's allotrophic, to being super polluted, or hyper-eutrophic, the methane emissions don't just go up a little bit, they explode. We're talking an order of magnitude jump as the water literally turns into a methane factory. And that leads us to this. And honestly, this number is just staggering. Almost half, 45%, of all human-caused methane emissions are already coming from these messed-up aquatic sources. This isn't a small side issue anymore. It's rapidly becoming the central issue. Okay, I know. Hearing a number like that can feel, well, a little overwhelming, right? But stick with me, because this is where the story takes a huge turn towards a powerful, immediate solution. As big as this methane problem is, it also represents our single greatest opportunity. I mean, just look at the data. It's undeniable. This chart shows that methane in our atmosphere isn't just rising, its growth is accelerating, especially since about 2007. We are actively making this problem worse, and we're doing it faster and faster. And this slide right here, this is probably one of the most important things you'll see. It shows the huge difference between our two main greenhouse gases. Look at the left. If we magically stopped all CO2 emissions today, the warming effect just hangs around for centuries. It's like trying to turn a giant supertanker. But now, look at the right. If we stop methane emissions, the temperature responds almost immediately and starts to drop within just a couple of decades. Methane is our climate emergency. And hey, it's not just us saying this. The world's top scientists all agree. So here's the bottom line. We absolutely have to keep working on cutting CO2 for the long haul. But methane gives us this unique, powerful short-term lever we can pull that could buy us some absolutely critical time.
So, okay, we've established that methane is our climate emergency brake. The big question then is, how do we actually pull that lever? I mean, specifically, how do we stop this massive flow of methane coming out of our lakes, ponds, and reservoirs?
Well, it turns out a company called Floating Island International has been working on exactly this for more than 20 years. They've pioneered this technology called RAM. It stands for Reduction of Aquatic Methane, and it's a nature-based solution designed to do precisely what we need: turn off the methane tap in polluted waters.
So how does it work? Well, the process is actually, it's beautifully simple. It uses a gentle airlift system to bring up that deep, oxygen-starved water where all the methane gets made. Then, it infuses that water with oxygen. And this is the crucial part. It returns that oxygenated water to the exact same depth, restoring the natural balance without messing up the lake's whole ecosystem.
And here's why it's just so darn effective. It's like a surgical strike. It delivers oxygen right to the problem zone. That does two things at once. It feeds the good guy microbes that actually eat methane, they're called methanotrophs, and it suppresses the bad guy microbes that produce methane in the first place. Plus, it creates new habitat and just fundamentally changes the underwater chemistry to stop methane at its source.
So, we've talked about the science, we've talked about the technology, but how does all this translate into an actual business strategy? This isn't just about the environment. This is about a defining opportunity for any business in water management and engineering.
Okay, so if you're watching this and you're in an architecture or engineering firm, listen up. This next part is for you. This is a unique challenge for sure, but it's also a massive opportunity. It's about more than just doing good work. It's about being the first to market with a solution that your clients desperately need.
Think about what a technology like this gives your firm. First, you get to stand out from the crowd with real nature-based solutions. You can help your clients meet tough regulations without dumping a bunch of expensive chemicals in the water. It works everywhere, from a small stormwater pond to a giant reservoir. And you can even open up new revenue streams for your clients through things like carbon and water quality credits.
So look, the key takeaway here is this isn't just about adding one more service to your list. No way. This is about completely redefining what's even possible in nature-based water treatment. It's about positioning your firm as an undeniable leader in the future of water.
The chance to really make a difference, to be an effective agent of climate action, it's right here, right now. For anyone ready to lead the charge, companies like Floating Island International are paving the way forward with some really innovative programs.
And that brings us right back to where we started. Remember that local problem, that single thawing lake in Montana? Well, now we can see it as more than just a warning. We can see it as a doorway to understanding a global climate threat, and maybe more importantly, a doorway for your company to provide the global solution. The only question left is, are you going to walk through it?